All right, today we're going to use proportions to solve problems. So again, it's a continuation of last week and Tuesday. This week you need 2 more lessons. So by the end of this week, you should be complete with proportions to solve problems. So that'll give you, I think it was 9 lessons. If you want to move on to next week's lessons, which are about probability, you're welcome to. A little review of some vocabulary is the ratios. We have talked about ratios a bit, and now we're going to use them to make proportions. So, for example, if there are 24 marbles and 16 of them are blue, what is the ratio of blue marbles to not blue marbles? So if we have 16 that are blue, whoa, my computer just got crazy. And we have a total of 24. Then if I take 24 minus 16, that'll give me 8. And so 16 are blue and 8 are not blue. So notice that we didn't use the total in the ratio, because ratios is all about reading what the question is asking for. So, and you always go in the same order as how the question asked it to. So blue was 16 to not blue was 8. Okay, let's try it again. So we have a box of 17 total pencils. And 9 of them are sharpened. So sharp is 9. So not sharp is how many? 8, yeah, you're right. 8 are not sharp. So then we look at the question and it says the ratio of unsharpened to sharpened. So we have to actually rearrange how we wrote it, and it's 8 to 9 because they wanted the unsharpened to be first. So this one's just a lot about slowing down and reading the question and making sure you're answering what they asked. I think people who struggle with this unit usually just try to go too fast and they get them out of order, and that's how they miss the questions. All right, so if we use proportions with the ratios, we can solve bigger proportion problems. So if we have a school bus and there are 42 students, okay, and currently we don't know how many are girls and how many are boys on that school bus, but then they give us a ratio of boys to girls. So boys is 3 and girls is 4. They want to know on the 42 person school bus, how many of them are girls. So I can use this table to help me figure that out. The yellow is what I already know. I can use what I already know, the girls being 3 and the boys being 4, to find a total of 7 students in that ratio. I know that 7 times 6 is 42. So if I multiply these times 6, I can get how many boys and how many girls. And then I go back to the question, and all they're really asking is how many girls are on the bus. So there are 24 girls. All right, so the next example, Miss Hardig is painting her bedroom to get the perfect shade of purple. Okay, so we have red paint and blue paint, and she mixes 2 cups of red with 3 cups of blue to make 5 total cups, and she needs 12 cups of blue paint to paint her entire bedroom. How many cups of red paint will she need to make this the perfect shade? Okay, so what did we multiply 3 by to get 12? We multiply it by 4. So to keep the ratio the same, we have to do the same thing to the red paint. So 2 times 4 is 8. So the first question says how many cups of red paint will she need to make this the perfect shade? She will need 8 cups. The second question says how many total cups of blue and red paint does she need to paint her entire room? That's kind of why I left this column here, so that we could use it to find the total cups. And we do the same thing we did on these two over here. We still multiply it by 4. So how many total cups did she need? Exactly. And honestly, total. Honestly, the better you are at your multiplication facts, the stronger you're going to be in this unit, because it's all about seeing the relationships and connecting it. All right, we got 2 more examples. Carol needs 12 chocolates and 8 suckers for every 4 goodie bags. So we have chocolate as 12. We have, I'm going to put lollipops because it's easier to spell. And she has 8. And then that makes 4 bags. If she's making 10 goodie bags, how many chocolates and suckers does she need? Okay. Now for me, going from 4 to 10 is not exactly that easy. Like, to me, it's just not that obvious. But if I divide this by 2, I can make this 2 goodie bags, 4 lollipops, and 6 chocolates pretty easily, because we're really good at halves. So can I use that to get up to 10? Yeah, if I multiply it by 5, that would get me up to 10 goodie bags really easily. So I'm going to do that same thing to the other 2. We're going to multiply them by 5. So that gives me 20 lollipops and 30 chocolates. So you don't always have to go straight to the final answer if it's not pretty. I mean, I think you could have multiplied it by 2.5, but how many of us know our 2.5 times tables? Not very many. I don't even know mine. So sometimes you can either go down to 1 and then multiply up, or you can go down to 2 and multiply up and make it a lot more friendly for yourself. All right. The last example that I have for you is about nail polish. Super exciting. Miss Kate's is making 3 batches of lip gloss. And she's calling it Pink Sunset using the recipe shown below. Each batch contains a different total amount of gloss. Okay, so this is basically the recipe, but she's trying to make bigger batches. So we're going to figure out how much of each color she needs for the batch. So if she went to clear being 1 whole, see how it says 1/6 is clear? That means she multiplied 1/6 times 6 to get that 1 whole. Therefore, on these other 2, we need to multiply them times the same thing that she multiplied the first one by. Does that make sense? Okay, so 1/3 times 6 equals 6/3, which I can divide and get 2. 1/2 times 6 gives me 3. So she needs 3 bottles of the pink, 2 bottles of the red, and 1 bottle of the clear. Okay. If she has 1 1/3 of the red, which was just 1/3 to start with, she multiplied it not only by 3 to get the 1 whole, but by 4 to get the 1 1/3. So what do I need to multiply the other 2 by? The same thing that we multiply the middle one by. So in this case, it's 1/4. Okay, so that gives us 1/2 times 4, which equals 2. 1/3 times 4, which equals 1 1/3. and 1/6 times 4, which equals 4/6, which then you can reduce to 2/3 of a bottle. Okay, last one. What did we multiply a half by to get 4? It's okay. 4 times a half gave me 2. So what times a half gives me 4? 8. 1/2 of 8 equals 4. So I need to multiply both of the bottom ones by 8 to figure out how much nail polish to use, or lip gloss to use. So 1/3 times 8 would be 8/3, which you can simplify to 2 2/3. 1/6 times 8 is 8/6, which can be simplified to 1 2/6, which is then just 1 1/3. Whoops. And that's how much nail polish you would need. So you're just basically multiplying and multiplying up. So don't let the fractions scare you. Multiply them like you've always done.